Woo! The San Francisco 49ers lose a tough one in Los Angeles. They fall to the Rams. They also fall to 1-2 on this young season. I tell you what, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty right here on the Wayne Breezy Show right after this. '49er faithful, I know it's tough, but we're here. We're going to go through this therapeutic session after another loss with the San Francisco 49ers. They get beat by a team that was just better than them on any given Sunday, and it's just the way it is. Thank y'all so much for tuning into the show. Shout out to everybody that is watching this live. I do appreciate you guys. Let's just do a quick shout outs to Nick Nice. Nick, you want to start the show off with some fireworks? I'm with you, bro. Say it with me, Fire Kyle. I want to pump the brakes on the Fire Kyle thing. I do want to talk about Kyle Shanahan today, though. I do. Still want to pump the brakes. I'm not all about firing him. I just did not expect him to go out there and have his team not prepared. Or unprepared. I think that was for me. That was more of what I was trying to say when I was like, listen, if he loses this game, he should be on the hot seat, right? We should be having a conversation about particularly moving on from Kyle. Unfortunately for Kyle Shanahan, it's not all on him. It's players executing. It's other coaches, which falls on him, obviously, because he's the head coach. So, Nick, we got to talk about Kyle Shanahan. 49ers throwback. Thanks for tuning in, faithful. Make sure y'all smash that like button, man. Thank you so much. Peachy in the building. I wish I didn't have to work today so I could be on this one. Spread the word. Listen, Nitty Gritty Niners, tonight you will be there. I'm for sure. My man, El Amin, Ronnie Bell. What in the hell? Yeah, man. Look, we'll talk about Ronnie Bell as well. It sounds like, hopefully, that was his last game. I'll leave it at that. J9er365. And I tell you what, today I'm going to allow you guys to get y'all takes off. I'm going to read y'all takes, so keep putting them in the chat. If I see them, I'm going to pull them up. Piss poor performance, lost to the damn Rams. Release Bell, bring in Owens, release Campbell. I mean, everybody wants to point the fingers at everybody that made a bad play, and I'm for it. I'm with it. I'm about that life. Red Jet Shell, another glorious day in Niner Mania land. What's good, family? Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you. Make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Tough loss. Tough loss for sure. I'll get to some of these, man. Don't bother me. He's in the building. I see a lot of people in the building. Greg's in the building. Hello, everybody. This old fart Greg from Stockton, man. Stockton, California in the building. What's going on, baby? Myzael's in the building as well. I see you guys out there, man. Listen, thanks for tuning in. Frank, come with the laughing emojis. Hey, man, this is the time you need to get your take. If you want to take shots at us 49ers, be my guest, because we freaking deserve it. We went out there and we literally laid an egg. I think my issue with this whole game was the game plan was working. And it's not, I don't think the Rams did anything to change up the game plan from Kyle Shanahan. I don't think that they did. I don't think the Rams did anything that should have made Kyle Shanahan change up the game plan. The Niners were up 14-0, 14-0, and they just didn't keep their feet on the gas. Literally, from the play calling down to players executing, it was like, you know what I say? If you guys, I'm in with the basketball, when I do my Celtics podcast, my co-host, CP, we always say stop playing with your food. Don't play with your food. The Niners literally played with their food, and they got their asses handed to them. And it's not like they got beat bad. It's the way they lost. It was terrible. It was totally terrible. We could point fingers. We could do all of that. You could blame it on everybody. You could blame it on one player. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they went to Los Angeles in a game where here's what really got to me. In a game where the freaking Rams dictated your uniform. So you mean to tell me the 49ers showed up in red in their home unis because the Rams said so, and they couldn't win? They couldn't close out a game. My issue with this particular team early is that they can't figure out how to close out games. That's bothering me. They can't close out games. I can't figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. They can't figure it out, and here I am trying to figure out why they can't close out games. Now, look, again, you could place the blame on anybody, everybody, one body, somebody, but at the end of the day, this team lost. They lost to a Rams team that was depleted. They had 7 starters missing, and we couldn't figure out a way not even to close out this game. Shouldn't even had to been a closeout game. This game should have been a freaking blowout. Let's just call it like it is. Well, you know what this game let me feel, let me think, led me to believe the Niners aren't as dominant as I thought that they would be. I believe I had us losing this game in our season predictions. We got to go back and watch the shows. I had us losing to the Rams at home, and then losing to the Rams on the road and then beating the Rams at home. But look, I didn't expect us to lose this game, not once we got the version of the Rams that we started to see for the first 2 weeks in football. Maybe the Niners just aren't a dominant team. Maybe the 49ers need more work. Maybe the 49ers just aren't good, period. Maybe that's what it is. And I don't care about Christian McCaffrey missing. I don't care about George Kittle missing. I don't care about Deebo Samuel not playing. I don't care. If you're a great team, we talk about, all this time we talked about the depth. We talked about the depth, right? Jax Knox, where's my damn team? This is not how we play. I'm very concerned. You should be. You should be. Proper. Yes. The bad defense. The defense was bad. The defense has been bad. I'm not giving anybody a pass. I'm not giving Ronnie Bell a pass. I'm not giving Kyle Shanahan a pass. I damn sure ain't giving Nick Sorensen a pass. You got the job. You got these players, and they're always out of position. How is the secondary out of position? I don't get it. How is the secondary always out of position? For the first 2 weeks, the defense has been playing 2 deep cover safeties and not giving up the explosive play. They give up 1 explosive pass for a touchdown to Justin Jefferson. And then next thing you know, in this game, they give up a 50-yard bomb to Tutu Atwell. And then you put the corner on him. I personally don't think Mooney Ward should have been on Tutu Atwell, but you can say I'm nitpicking here. I'm sorry. If I was a coach, I would be a coach where I'm going to match up. If it's a speedy receiver, I don't care if my cornerback is a rookie, rated a 69. If he's fast, get your ass out there on that fast guy, and you make sure he don't catch the ball. Gotta play these players. Gotta put them out there. Renardo Green should have been on Tutu Atwell that game. But we're not going to play Renardo Green because Renardo Green is a rookie. What was the whole point of Renardo Green getting all these reps in training camp and you're putting him out there? And then when he gets put out there, all of a sudden, Renardo Green obviously is going to get a ticky-tacky bullcrap penalty, but he was holding the dude all the way into the end zone. So I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm cool. But why is Mooney Ward, probably the slowest corner, sorry, Mooney, you slow, dog, on a speedy guy? That's a matchup issue. That's a Nick Sorensen. You're the secondary specialist. These are the things you have to know. Defensive side, let's talk about the defense, man. I'm still struggling how we lost this game. We're 1-2. We're 0-1 in the division. It's not over. It's no far from over. Niners can still go 5-1 in this division and call it a day, okay? They go 5-1 in this division, probably still win the division. We just got to beat the rest of the teams in the division. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get what the hell I'm watching when I forgot to drink my drink. it's going to be, no, it's not going to be cold anymore. I'm not going to drink it. Let's talk about Yedem. He's not it. I don't care what experience. Let me be better. Let me be better. Let me do coverage. When I look at these coverage grades from PFF, I get it. A lot of people don't like PFF, and I'm cool with it. A lot of people don't like it. And I understand why. Super subjective, right? But man, you can't tell me I'm looking at these grades and they didn't get these cover grades right. Isaac Yadam and Charvarius Ward were targeted the most in this game. Yadam, 5 times. He gave up 5 receptions. He was 100% in allowing the team to complete passes. Now, he plays in the slot, and so usually that's going to happen. That's going to happen. You're going to get that. Also had a penalty in this game. He gave up 52 yards. He was allowed for 52 yards. 52. Charvarius Ward, starting cornerback. He had the 10th lowest grade out of 13 in coverage. He's the starting cornerback with the 10th lowest grade out of 13. 50% completion, 3 for 6. He allowed 3 receptions in this game, but for 76 yards. And I'm sorry, just getting burnt on that last play probably made him go from top 5 in coverage to bottom 5 easily. He was ranked tied for 10th. So he's either 10th or 11th. Who, you know who he was tied with? The rookie, Renardo Green. Just in coverage. Believe it or not, Jair Brown had the best coverage grade. It was a 75.7, but coverage-wise, he did his thing. And that's another thing. I don't know how many times I talk about the 49ers defense, but it's levels to where they need to improve. And it starts in the draft. And I know people didn't like me for my take about a year ago when I said I miss Jimmy Ward. Let me just explain why. The 49ers do not have a Jimmy Ward-esque type player on this team. They just don't. They don't have a free safety. Do you know the difference between free safety and strong safety? If you don't know the difference, cool. You don't even got to go on Patreon. I can tell you right now. The free safety on this roster, which is not currently here, and why I miss a guy like Jimmy Ward. I don't care if he's getting old. I don't care. This is why he belonged playing safety. They forced him to play nickelback, and he didn't want to do it. But this is why he belonged playing safety. The reason why I like Jimmy Ward was because he had the ability to roam the football field. Also, he was phenomenal in tackling. And when he blitzed, he can get home. All of a sudden, and speed. He had speed. He had football speed. I don't know what his 40 time. I don't care. He had football speed. He also had this. The only issue with Jimmy Ward was health. That was it. So I get it. They moved on from him. They didn't want to pay him. Cool. I understand it. But I said that last year because something was missing at the safety spot. As much as I love Jair Brown, as much as I love Talanoa Hufanga, as much as I love T. Gipp from last year, as much as I love these guys, they're not free safeties. They're not. They don't have the ability to move around the football field, force the quarterback to make a mistake. The quarterbacks are taking advantage of the safeties. So then when these safeties got to cover, they get exposed. Why? They don't have the coverage skills and the speed. We don't draft safeties with speed. We just don't. Now you're seeing why speed is a need. The need for speed, especially at that position. Because if you're going to play cover 1, cover 3, cover 2, if you're going to play with these safeties back and they have to be able to get to their spot quick. Now listen, I love the Niners. I love the safeties that we have, but they both belong in the box. They both belong in the box. I love Mustafa, but he still, I bet you $100 he might have the speed. I don't think he has the coverage skills yet. He's another box safety. He's a guy that's really, he's a guy. The 49ers safeties are guys that are willing to knock you off your block, which is fine. That's where they belong. Now, there's levels to it, right? Because can Jair Brown be that? Possibly. We've seen him with the interceptions last year. He had the interception. He was playing free safety. We've seen him play it. But when things aren't all in sync, they get exposed. What do I mean? So let's get down to the next level. Let's go from the top. We're going to get to the offense, I promise. I'm not going to do a show and not talk about the 49ers offense. When you start at the top with your safeties, we talked about the corners. Let's get down to the linebackers. I never in my life missed a player more than I missed Dre Greenlaw. If you missed Dre Greenlaw, put your daggone hand in the air. I never missed a player more in my life than Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw, I'm sorry. I wish you nothing but a speedy recovery, but you need to get your ass back quick. If you can run, if you can bend, if you can slide, if you can cut, get back quick. I'm sorry. This defense is lost without Dre Greenlaw. Without him. And here's why. Coverage. You want to talk about Devondre Campbell in coverage? Listen, I'm not mad at Devondre Campbell. Why? Because the 49ers are forcing him to play outside of his position. I need everybody to understand. My job is to get you to understand a little bit more. You don't have to agree with me. You could disagree all you want. I'm still going to try to get you to understand. When they signed Devondre Campbell, it wasn't necessarily to be a guy for coverage. He doesn't have the speed, and he's never been a coverage linebacker, right? And so he's brought in to help stop the run. We talked about stopping the run and linebackers filling gaps. That's why he was brought in. D. Winters, who unfortunately is coming back from an injury, was the player that the 49ers drafted that has the ability, the speed to cover on the weak side, which is he would be taking if Dre Greenlaw was here. That's who D. Winters needs to kind of like shadow and be on the upcoming. Unfortunately, Dre Greenlaw is not here, and D. Winters, in my opinion, D. Winters being injured just hasn't had the opportunity to get those reps. He only had 7 snaps in this game, but that's the guy you need on the weak side. That's the guy you trust more in man coverage. Why? Because he's a coverage linebacker. So you put a non-coverage linebacker, Nick Sorensen, on a receiver, tight end, whatever, and he just doesn't do the one thing you are taught and trained to do in coverage football. Turn your head. Pass interference call, boom, 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 down the field. There we go. So, yes, we could be mad. I see Sonia Campbell didn't even try to turn his head. Terrible move. I'm going to be honest with you, Sonia. You're 100% correct. But at the end of the day, that ain't his game. And it's easy for us to say, yo, just turn your head, bro. But if he's not a coverage linebacker, why is he put in that situation? Why is he put in that situation? He's not a liability. That's the situation that he's put in. So I don't know how or what it takes to sub guys out and get the right personnel on the field. But I know if the offense, unless they're running a quick offense, a hurry up offense, a no huddle offense, the defense has time to make subs. You know how we play Madden and we do this, and then and I have it to where it's like sub linebackers. Well, on sub linebackers, when there's coverage, I'm putting the guys that can cover. Now, at this point, put Malik Mustafa in as your sub linebacker. I would rather have him cover a guy because he has the tendencies to at least turn his head on a pass play. So that's a mistake. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. That was a mistake. But that's a guy, in my opinion, that's a guy that doesn't necessarily play coverage, Sonia. So yeah, he doesn't turn his head because that's what we know you should do. He, at that moment, didn't do it. Big play. 48-yard PI called down the field? You know what I mean? It's crazy. Wow. All right, here we go. So those are our linebackers. That's the situation with the linebackers. Curtis Robinson, for some reason, can't find a way to get on the football field, and it is what it is. Let's get to the front, because that, to me, is where it all starts. So I started with the back end. I started with the secondary, talked about the corners. I talked about the coverage grades with the safeties and where they struggle. I talked about the linebackers, right? I talked about it. Let's talk about the front. The front is always going to be an issue for me. I don't know what is wrong with the pass rush. What I do know is I'm no longer a fan of whatever this wide nine bull. I'm just not a fan of it. Please throw it in the trash can. The game has changed. Just play straight up 4-3. If you're gonna come out there in a 4-3, or if you're gonna come out there and a nickel, just have them at the proper alignments of their space. Just have their spacing proper. At this point, what's the purpose? For some reason, this wide nine alignment, the pass rush isn't getting home from the outside. They're not getting the pressures that I need. The 49ers pass rush had a total of 19 pressures in this game. Just 19. 19 pressures, 3 sacks. So out of the 19 pressures, only 3 of them were sacks. You got 19 pressures is a lot. That offensive line gave up 19 pressures. That's a lot. But when you're not getting home, that's where it looks bad, right? You're not getting home. Who had the sacks? Lee Collins got a sack. Hargrave got a sack. And my man Sam O got the sacks. I think my issue is just that they're not getting home. And I think when the pressure is not generated enough, there was a play. Who was the player? I can't remember off the top of my head. There was a player where they had literally Matthew Stafford in their hands. It might have been Hargrave. And he just ran out of the hands. It should have been a sack. But when you're not getting home, it forces the defense back in, the linebackers, the secondary. It just puts more strain on them. So you're giving Matthew Stafford time to chuck the ball down the field. I literally take my time and I put together 5 players. This is the first year I'm doing this. It's called The Biggest Threats. Go back and watch those videos. I'm giving you 5 options that the 49ers need to pay attention to. This past game, all 5 of those options were a problem. All 5 of them. I'm good if we take away 4, take away 3 of them, and only 2 of them do something. So I give you 5. Maybe I need to stop doing 5 and just pick one player and focus on the one player. Matthew Stafford killed us. Kyron Williams was the best player on the football field offensively. And y'all don't know about Byron Young, but for some reason, Byron Young was just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Pass rush grades, though. 19 total pressures. 3 sacks, 2 hits, 14 hurries. Just not winning. Not winning at all. And a lot of people be like, all right, well, how much did we blitz? Do we blitz? This is that and the third. Check this out. You ready for this? So the 49ers literally blitzed 8 times this game. It's the most they blitzed all year. Most they blitzed all year. 8 times. We can't get home with the blitz because, well, you don't want to overuse this blitz because now you're seeing what happens down the field. Every time we blitz, we get burnt. For some reason, the blitzes aren't getting home. Steve Wilks was better at this part with the blitz. And that to me is, I don't know if that's a personnel thing. I don't know what it is. All I know is Nick Sorensen, you got a lot of work to do, bud. And here's my take. I know people want to give Nick Sorensen his opportunities and chances or whatever. I know we weren't willing to do. I know y'all wasn't willing to do that with Steve Wilks. Oh, here's the key. Here's the kicker, right? Hold on one second. Let me get this. Let me tell you where the 49ers are ranked as far as scoring this year. Y'all not going to like this. So just get ready. All right, here we go. Damn. Dang, yo. We in the bottom. We are giving up 23 points per game. I know it's early, and I'm not trying to overreact, but that's terrible. From a defense that's fully loaded. The defense is missing nobody but Dre Greenlaw. But we knew that. We knew Dre Greenlaw wasn't going to play. But even with Greenlaw out, this defense is fully loaded. 32nd, 31st, 30th, 29th, 28th, 27th, 26th, 25, 24. We are ranked 23rd. We have the 23rd ranked scoring defense. 23 points we allow per game. God forbid we play an offense that scores over 24 points per game. Shoot. We gave up 27 points to the Los Angeles Rams, and they were averaging 15. So the defense, Nick Sorensen gets one more game. No, I take that back. Nick Sorensen gets 2 more games for me. Nick Sorensen gets 2 more games for me. 2 more games. Then I'm asking Kyle Shanahan to make an executive decision and just let me see what my man Staley can do at this point. 2 more games. I'm going to give Nick Sorensen. Who do we got next? The Patriots and the Cardinals. I expect him to fix it against the Patriots. The Cardinals is the real test. When you pass that test, I ride with Sorensen for the remainder of the season. If he fails the Cardinals game, we got a problem. We got a problem. So that's how I'm looking at that, man. It's time for some Brandon Staley action or whatever. But if Nick Sorensen gets a couple of more games to kind of get right, good news is defensively, the window I believe opens up next week for Dre Greenlaw, and we'll get a guesstimation on possibly when he can return if he's like activated off the PUP and then put onto the active roster. So we'll know after next week how that's working. I'm praying. Not that I'm trying to rush him back, but the defense needs some Nick freaking Sorensen. Let's talk about special teams. We're going to end on offense today. Let's talk about the special teams, yo. The special teams has been the worst unit for the San Francisco 49ers for years. Like, for some reason, the special teams just can't get right. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know. I don't get why the special teams just struggles. Why are they never prepared? How many times did I say we got to find a way to get rid of Brian Schneider? I feel like I sound like a broken record. It's 4th and 6. Okay? You're playing Sean McVay. Okay? Sean McVay. I don't care if you was playing Sean Day, Day of the Sean, Dawn of the Dead. It don't matter. You had to have your team, special teams, prepared for tricks. You just do. And here's the thing, they didn't even throw the ball. They ran the ball. They ran it to the outside to the left. How are you not ready for that? Damn, I'd rather the defense been out on the football field on a 4th and 6. Hey, if they kick it over our head and we don't get to return it, oh well. Leave the defense out there. Special teams, unprepared for that situation. The last time the special teams was unprepared for that situation, it was Richard Hightower, and he gone. How you think Schneider got the job? Should Schneider be gone? I don't get it. I don't get why everybody gets all of these opportunities to continue to mess up. We want players cut, but but the coaches can stay. Make it make sense. He had John Chapman on the show last week. Got every Wednesday. John Chapman will be here every Wednesday. He gives us the game plan. He sat here and told us when he was at training camp this year or last year, I can't remember. I was there last year, but I wasn't there all the time. He said the one thing he didn't like was that when Brian Schneider was out there, they're meeting on the football field. They're not even practicing. They're talking about philosophies and what you can do instead of actually doing the do. And I say, well, that's what the classrooms are for. That's what the film rooms are for. They got these facilities with film rooms with 85,000 billion inch TVs, and they can sit there and watch and figure out philosophy and talk about things. On the football field, they should be practicing. So if the special teams isn't practicing, that's a coaching thing. Why is the special teams not practicing in scenarios? Oh, it's a 4th and 3. It's a 4th and 1. It's a 4th and 37. They're going to go for it. They're going to punt. It's 4th and 37. Next thing you know, here comes a fake pass. Man, listen. Look, that was worse than Jake Moody missing the field goal. I'm not going front. Because being unprepared is terrible. Making a mistake, you can learn from the mistake. That's not a mistake. That's not a mistake. I'm sorry if I'm not getting to y'all comments at this point. We didn't do an overreaction show yesterday. This is a bit of reacting. I don't even think I'm reaching now. I'm just spitting what I feel this is what the team needs to do moving forward. Because if this team loses 3 in a row, never mind. Anyway, special teams, that was a problem. Jake Moody misses a 55-yard field goal, something that he's just been knocking down lately. So what is he? 8 for 9 this year in totality. He misses that a little to the left. Moody, you got to make the kick, bruh. You got to make the kick. He has to make that kick. And I get it. It changes the game. He makes that kick. It's a 2-possession game opposed to whatever, but he missed it. Oh, well. Team still had opportunities to win the game. Don't hang your head low. Team should have been in another opportunity to kick a game-winning field goal, but for some reason, that's not how the 49ers are built. I need Jake Moody to figure out or practice how to kick pressure kicks. And I know it's totally different. You can't really practice the pressure kicks, but they got to figure that out. Because every time he's in a pressure situation, pressure, right? Meaning, I need this, we need this, I got to make this. Every time he does that, he misses. It's like real. And he doesn't miss often. It's just when. It's just when he misses. It's terrible. Moody has to make that kick. It is what it is. Let's talk about the offense here. All right, so the offensively, man, it's tough to talk about the offense, but the offense only put up 24 points, and the offense has to find a way to get back to 30 points. And when you're up 14-0, in the first quarter, I'm expecting the offense to put up 96 points. Well, at least 14 every quarter. Whatever that is. 14 times 4. Give me that math. That's what I'm expecting. Because that's what the Niners offense looked like. They couldn't stop Juwan Jennings. How is Juwan Jennings best performance of his life negated because the offense couldn't figure it out. They couldn't close it out. They couldn't sustain a lead. They couldn't do these things. And I know it's not the offense job to sustain the lead, but here's what I mean by sustaining it. Okay, my defense gave up a touchdown. Let's go back and respond. Let's clap back. Where's my clap back offense? Where is it? I thought when Kyra Williams scored, it was 14-7. We clapped back. I say 21-7, cool beans. We got it. We're in control. In control. Offensively as a whole, they're not together. They're not in sync. Something's wrong. Juju is off. Don't know what it is. Don't care about what it is. They need to fix it. The offense. The offense needs to get together, have a team meeting, whoever the captains are on that offense, and figure this out. The offense needs to be in sync more than the defense. Defense, players are going to make plays. Offensively, they all got to work together for it to grow. When opportunities are called, you have to capitalize on those opportunities. And I know, let's talk about Ronnie Bell. Let's get this out of here. Ronnie Bell, unfortunately, you got to go, bruh. I don't understand how you get these opportunities. You played 30 snaps in this game. 25 of those snaps were pass snaps. You were targeted 3 times, and the only catch you made is when it didn't matter. Another person that doesn't catch the ball when it matters. You dropped the ball not once, but twice in the same game. And I can't defend it, bruh. I can't. It's undefendable. You, Ronnie Bell, you got to go out there and make a name for yourself, bruh. It's either going to be a good name or they're going to shit on you. And at this point, you're trash. Straight up garbage. I don't give a fuck about the verbiage now. You're straight up not good, bro. I thought the wide receiver's job was to do one thing. One thing. One thing. They got one job. You catch the ball. I don't care if you can't block. You catch the ball. Now, in this offense, to see the field, you got to block. So luckily, you can block. But you can't catch. Since when? When did you start not catching the ball? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. He's a wide receiver that just can't catch, yo. Like and have we seen that before? Yup. Will he get opportunities to continue to prove that he can catch? He shouldn't. This team is too built for him to get those opportunities. Yeah, we allowed Kendrick Bourne to get those opportunities because that's all we had. We allowed Juwan Jennings to get those opportunities because we had young receivers and they had to grow. And once they grew, even those, he was dropping the ball. But we had other guys. In this situation, there's no way Ronnie Bell should give another opportunity to prove that he can catch. I don't get it. He couldn't catch. I don't care if you could catch in practice. Kyle Shanahan, you can miss me with that. I don't care if he had a good training camp. That was months ago. We're talking about the game. When it counts. Maybe perhaps if you're going to use Ronnie Bell, you try to get him the ball quick, early, just to get him into some type of rhythm. So that way, maybe he could catch the ball in a game-winning situation. Kyle Shanahan, why was that the play call, though? Anyway, that's another question. It's so much. 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 Ronnie Bell, bruh. You got to go. You got to go. Offensively, he's the weakest link. As far as your pass catching and players' abilities to be able to do something, I just don't think he deserves another opportunity. You have a rookie in Jacob Cowing that proves he can at least catch. So what? He can't block. At least he can catch. Why can't he get those reps? Why are we paying Chris Conley? Why not give him the reps? I don't get it. I don't know or understand Kyle Shanahan, which is who I definitely want to end this show on. But I don't get the Ronnie Bell fascination. Like, what the hell? Are we waiting for? And I'm a Michigan guy, but this is NFL, and this is my 49ers. Fuck Michigan. This is about the Niners. I don't care where you went to school. If I throw you a ball, you catch it. It's simple. If the quarterback throws the ball to you, you catch it. If the quarterback hands the ball off to you, you run it. If the offensive line, we need to talk about the offensive line. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I know it's early. I shouldn't have said the F-bomb, but whatever. Don't get it. Don't get why he can't catch. My son could go out there and catch those passes. Maybe he should have jumped. Why are you jumping? The fuck you jumping for? Just let the ball go into your hands, bruh. So when you jump, you lose concentration. What happened to catching one-on-one? Is that a thing? Do I need to do a football 101, how to catch a pass? You put the hand together like the diamond, and you watch the ball go into the goddamn diamond. You just whoop, 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 whoop. That's it. You just need strong fingertips. Anyway, Ayuk, just keep grinding, bro. Like, you're going to get yours. Ayuk's going to go off. He's going to get his game. The game plan defensively from the Rams was to take out Brandon Ayuk, and even he was trying to find ways to make plays. Was the production great? No. But at least he was being targeted and he was getting opportunities. He had a couple of drops too. One was behind him. They weren't as easy drops though as that Ronnie Bell one. The first Ronnie Bell drop, I was okay with it. He was about to get decapitated anyway, so he was looking like he was like, oh shoot, like he dropped it. Back to Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk's gonna be fine, man. I know everybody's mad because he's a $30 million man, which you have the right to be mad once you get these contracts. These players need to go out there and live up to their contracts. But we're seeing no difference in Brandon Ayuk's production than what we were seeing from Nick Bosa's production last year. So just keep that same fucking energy, please. Because Nick Bosa was ass. Don't let me remind you. I know how he finished with 13.5 sacks, but that's ass from Nick Bosa. So let's hope Brandon Ayuk gets it going a lot quicker than Nick Bosa. It's harder for Brandon Ayuk to get it going because there's mad options. And when you get a game like Jawan Jennings, 11 catches, 175 yards, and 3 touchdowns, when you get a game from that, I'm sorry. If they're taking out Ayuk and whoever's else out there, I'm just going to find my boy Jennings. Let him feast. You pay all this money to have options. That's what the money is spent on. Oh, yeah. So I look at it a little differently than everybody else. Just because I'm paying him $30 million don't mean he got to go out there and give me $30 million performance every night. The fact that he might be out there and being the guy that they're double covering is worth the $30 million. Now I can get my $6 million guy one-on-one matchups to where he can feast. Or I could get the ball to whoever else is out there. So the money doesn't change how I feel about the player. But I'm just saying, if y'all gonna talk about him being a $30 million man, I ain't hear the same energy when Nick Bosa wasn't producing last year. I'm gonna leave it at that. Anyway, I think Brandon Ayuk is gonna be just fine. Nick Bosa's not producing this year either, by the way. Just want to put that out there. But Ayuk's gonna be just fine. Offensive line, you just can't. Chris Forrester. I'm trying to throw the shade and the blame to these coaches, not just on Kyle. It's all on Kyle, but Chris Forrester, why is there not a tight end chipping a speed rusher if you know your right tackle can't block speed rushers? I mean, how many times does he got to get beat by a speed rusher for you the light bulb to go off, Chris? Maybe Chris is not as smart as we thought he was. And I'm talking about Chris Forrester. Because Cole McKivitz is left one-on-one on a Byron Young. And on that one play, you want to talk about what changed the energy? Yeah, everybody thinks it was that special teams play. Nah, how about the turnover? Special teams was a conversion on 4th and 6. Let's talk about when Brock Purdy got strip sack fumbled. Because one guy just couldn't block their best pass rusher, which with no help. There's nobody out there to help slow down Byron Young. It's crazy. Oh, what's going on, bro? He says, listen to you on Spotify. Never got a chance to catch a live. Welcome to the show. My super chats, bro, are suspended right now. So hopefully, I'm praying they'll be back at some point in November when I can reapply. But I appreciate you for tuning in, dog. I really do. I really appreciate you for being here. Welcome. Is it Rainier? Welcome him to the chat, everybody. CJ Gray, this was my threat. He was one of my threats, bro. I miss you too, bro. He was one of my threats. I kept saying, everybody was like, oh, he not going to do nothing because he in 2 games, he only got 1 sack. I don't know what the football y'all be watching. Maybe y'all need to watch this show or watch these videos I put up a little bit more. I really know what I'm talking about. He was a problem. And he is playing better than Bosa, too, by the way. I don't care if Nick Bosa's double-teamed, chipped. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I need more from him. But back to Colton McKivitz, speed is his kryptonite. I feel like we figured it out. Like, everybody has kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, Gall says, Wayne, you're disappointing with that take. That's fine. You could be disappointed. My issue is, why wasn't anybody saying that with Nick Bosa not being at practice last year when his production was low? That's my take. That's all I want to know. I'm not comparing any of them, but their situation. Brandon Ayuk's production is low because he wasn't at practice. Nick Bosa's production was low because he wasn't at training camp. Nick Bosa came out himself and said it. So you could just be disappointed with my take, and I'm sorry. But if the guy came out and took accountability for it, what's wrong with my take? Nick Bosa came out and said, yeah, the contract situation kind of slowed his processing down just a little bit. So that's fine. You could be disappointed in it. No doubt. My point is the energy not the same. So we can shit on one guy but not shit on the other guy? That doesn't make sense to me. That's kind of fucked up now that you think about it. So I apologize if you're disappointed, but it is what it is. Let's just keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying. Let's just keep it. Let's keep the energy the same and hold everybody accountable the same. That's all I'm saying. Just as mad as we are about Brandon Ayuk not being there, he's a paid guy. We expected him to perform. Why is it different? Why? It's not fair. Anyway, great one. Let's get to some of these comments in here. Bosa and Warner was a big reason Wilkes was fired. They both, bro. I don't remember Fred Warner taking shots at Wilkes. I know Bosa did, but I don't remember Fred. I got to go back and check that out. But you're probably right. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You know what the bright side to everything is? It's early. Guys, it's early. So, yo, I'm here for your therapeutic sessions. Put y'all takes in here. I'm here for it. Trust me. John V, what's going on? He says, take your disappointment in the effing boombox and shove it up. I can't say that. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. I'm already suspended. But nah, man, listen. It is what it is, it is what it is. Let me ask you this question out there for those that are watching the live. Put in the chat why you think we lost. Just one thing, because you'll give me 12 things from one person. Give me one thing. I want to go up to some of your comments. Nick says Fred did. Okay, my bad. I just don't remember him saying it. Maybe Fred must have did it in a way where I ain't here. But I know Bosa talked about them not getting off the same with the responsibilities on the line. They weren't rushing freely or something like that. It was crazy. Penalties. All right, here we go. All right, let me get to these in the right order. I see them now. Thank y'all so much for participating. Nigel, what's going on? It says penalties. Bruh. One of my keys to victory was playing mistake-free football, and the Niners said F that. I thought the defense last week against Minnesota, they had 0 penalties. This week, it was a different ball game. Straight up different ball game. Dang defense. And you know what? That PI call was huge, but there was some defensive holdings. There was a lot. 7 penalties, ladies and gents, for 111 yards. 7 that they accepted, too, by the way. I just want to put that out there. I don't want to look up total penalties and ones that were declined, but 7 penalties, boom. Yeah. That's a tough one. 7 penalties, 111. And like I said, there was a 48-yard PI call in there. You know what I mean? 48-yard PI call. Oh, golly, Jesus. Bruh. Y9 for goal line wraps it up. I just want to get rid of the Y9, period. Possibly we move on from the Y9. I don't know why we still use it, especially on the goal line. Why not tighten up those gaps? That's what she said. I don't know. I don't know. Peachy, no pass rush. 19 pressures, just only 3 sacks. Only 3 sacks. We constantly underestimate our opponent. There it is. How about we stop playing with our mother freaking food? How about that? You know what, John? I thought maybe the Vikings were more of an underestimation. I thought that the Kyle Shanahan would have had his guys prepared for the Rams, regardless if they lost. They didn't have 7 starters or whatever, regardless. But nah. It looked like it, though. We were smacking him in the mouth. Brock Purdy was on fire. We got to talk about Brock Purdy's performance, too, before we dip up out of here. Brock Purdy was on fire. He only had 8 incompletions. The dude was 22 for 30. That's perfect. 30 completion, 30 attempts is what I need my quarterback. I just need the rushing attempts to be like 35, 40, though. Yeah. So we get complacent, too much sauce. Why we lost? Moody missed the field goal. And you know what? That could be exactly why we lost. If Moody makes that field goal, we go up by 10 points, and it's a different ball game because now the Rams have to score not once but twice. So, yeah, it could be by Moody loss. Nick Knight says Fred took shots at after the Vikings loss saying we need our DC. Okay, I didn't take that as a shot. I took that as a suggestion. That's what I took it as. So if that's a shot, cool. I got you. Alejandro, coaching. All right. So yeah, man, it's all 3 phases. It just got to be better. I don't know where the creativity is from the offensive side. I think the defensive side plays a little lackadaisical at times, and they're just out of position. And then special teams is just the worst in the NFL. I don't know. Thoroughbred details. Ooh. They're not tuned into the details of the game. I like these takes. Fundamentals. Now we talking about penalties and stuff. Yo, it's crazy. My bro Cole. Yo, we had the Rams number not to, but you said had. So you said we had the Rams number, not too concerned. We will get healthy and back together. That I agree with. We've started slow before. We start slow just about all the time, except for last season. We started off 5-0 and lost 3 in a row. At least we're gonna work to get back to 500 after the first quarter of football. So I'm okay too. I'm with you. I'm not too concerned. Especially knowing that we got players coming back. I love that. Rome 33 is my son's name. Rome. Ronnie Bell. Yeah, his ass got to go, bro. Like, I don't know how many opportunities he's going to continue to get. But if here's my thing. I don't know what he's doing in practice, but whatever he's doing, he's getting the opportunities. Number 10, Kyle passing to him, in my opinion. Is that what that means? Number 15, who was unstoppable, or instead of, I don't know what IO means. Mean a whole bunch of things. Instead of number 15, who was unstoppable. I can't wait to watch the film because I need to see what Brock saw on that pass attempt, that drop. Either way, Brock threw it to the wide open guy. He threw it. The pass could have been not as lofty, but I'm nitpicking. But even Brock said I could have threw the ball a little bit better. But I don't care if the ball. I don't care if the ball had backspin on it. Gotta catch that ball. I think, in my opinion, I think Ronnie Bell jumping for it made it more difficult. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. But he's got to catch that pass. Rainier says, special teams and the Michigan boy. Y'all going to come at my Michigan, but I love it. I love it 100%. Keep coming at them. They need to be better. They need to be better. CJ Gray, the damn defense. Michael, special teams. Christy Marie, defense. Here we go. We haven't talked about this. You mentioned Kyle Slick, my brother Slick. You mentioned Kyle, but Froy over on Facebook put in the context, and this is my issue with Kyle Shanahan. This will always be my issue with Kyle Shanahan. It wasn't always my issue with Kyle Shanahan. And then I had to start thinking, when did Kyle Shanahan get scared to run the ball? You literally have a running back that gets most of his yards after the contact. So if they stack 8 in the box, I just feel like Mason could get you 2 or 3 yards. You know what I'm saying? Now, was Mason stopped? Yes. I don't have my notebook. I was so pissed about this game last night. Instead of doing the overreaction show, I did my notes from my film study. Never done that shit in my life. Might do that and not do overreaction shows anymore. Except for the ones on Bleacher Report after the game. But I started doing my notes, and I was like, damn, Mason had a lot of negative runs in this game. So then I'm like, maybe Kyle just didn't trust the offensive line. Here's my issue with Kyle Shanahan. One play. It was one play. Can we talk about this one play? It was a 3rd and 8. Can we talk about this one play? It's the only play I'll question Kyle Shanahan's play calling on. Y'all might have more plays, but there was this one play where I'm going to question Kyle Shanahan's play calling. It was 3rd and 8, and we needed a first down. Mind you, this is the Jake Moody's field goal miss. Just want to put that out there because then it was 4th and 5, okay? We needed a first down, keep the drive alive. Now, 3rd and 8 is 3rd and long. What happened to football with Kyle Shanahan where, what happened to the element of surprise? Where's the surprise? Are we missing Mike McDaniels that much that there's no element of surprise on this offense? The offense is that dull and that boring. The offense is that predictable. The defense on 3rd and 8 knew we were passing the ball. It's 3rd and 8, Kyle. They knew it. They knew we were passing. You couldn't have thrown a screen. You couldn't have thrown anything. You know what you could have did? You could have did a halfback draw right up the middle and potentially got 5 or 6 yards. Even if you didn't get the first down, you run the ball, you take off more time on the clock. This is clock management we talking about here. Worst case scenario in that situation, no gain. You're attempting a 57-yard field goal opposed to 55, and I bet he probably would have made the 57. It's just the way it is. But instead, you drop back, you pass. Purdy avoids 5 sacks on one play and then runs. So at the end of the day, Purdy ran it anyway because nobody could get open. Kyle, the element of the surprise of the 49ers offense is gone. I don't know if that has to do with trust, with the players, the personnel. I don't know. But damn, they're playing pass on 3rd and 8, bro. Like, I knew that. You could have just ran the ball and then took your chances. You weren't going to get a tackle for a loss there because they were playing pass, which means you wouldn't have lost any yards running the ball because they weren't stacked in the box. I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it. I don't understand Kyle, though. So if Kyle would have just ran the ball on 3rd and 8, gave his kicker an opportunity to kick a little bit closer, it's all ifs, all what ifs, all whatever. But I'm just saying, that had to be a run. I've watched other teams do it. Defense is not ready for it. Next thing you know, they get an 11-yard carry. It's Jordan Mason. The dude averaged 4.1 yards per carry, but he was averaging more at one point in this game, and you just abandoned the run. Why? Let me ask you this. Why the freak how do you abandon the run when you're winning? I thought you abandon the run when you're trailing and you're losing. What the freak? That's what I thought. Tanisha says our plays super predictable. We're getting burned by coaches adjusting their plays during the game. There's nothing special anymore about Kyle's play calling. Jamaro. Did I say that right? Mr. Thomas? Yo. It's just common sense. It's just common sense. My brother Larry stopped throwing the ball to Ronnie Bell. He was targeted 3 times. He dropped 2 passes. He caught the only one that didn't matter where they had to do some kind of trickery throwback play. It's the only pass he didn't catch. That wasn't a flag. Kali, I know you watched that play. I was pissed at that. I was pissed at Juice, but you rewatched it. Juice was face masked, but they called it on Juice. Like that was a bad call. That was a bad call. I just want to know why we abandon the run when you're winning and you need to run the time off the clock. I think for me, That's my issue with Kyle Shanahan. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But you know what? That's his trajectory. Go back to the Super Bowl loss against the New England Patriots. They were up by how many points at the half? And what did he do with Matt Ryan? Dropped him back, threw the ball. What happened? Matt gets sacked. And after that, the Patriots took off. Go back to our Super Bowls. We're literally running the ball. Like literally. Debo was having a great game. I thought the running game was working pretty decent. We didn't have a bunch of explosive runs. But man, we're up by 10. Never mind. I'm sorry. CJ says, I disagree. The play calling was fine. Players have to execute. You're right. I thought the play calling was good. I said that. As I said, there was one play. There was one play. One play. One play where I thought you shouldn't have threw the ball. Like, right? So I pinpointed the one play. That one play, 3rd and 8. Go back and watch that play when you get a chance. Look at the way the defense was playing. They were playing pass. If the defense is playing pass, you could have checked down to a run. Brock has the ability to check down to a run because he did it earlier in that game. He checked to a run. He killed the play and he canned the play, checked to a run. They got 2 or 3 yards to the outside. All I'm saying is that one play was the issue. Do the players have to execute 1,470%? Always, though. That's a must. That's a must. Like, players have to come out and execute. That's a must. That's a must, though. You know, I'm with you, Snoop. Players got to execute. 6 drops is unacceptable. Ronnie Bell's the reason, 100%. Like, everybody's take is 100% correct. It is. And Kyle not fixing the O-line when he chooses to call running plays and the running backs get stuffed. He then forgets about the run game, gets pass happy. That's what you're seeing out there. Hey, man, you could whatever you observe, I'm with it. My brother Nick, seems like this team is in focus and lacking execution, which falls on coaching. Okay, that's a great take. Everybody got great takes, man. You know what I'm saying? Offense did their job. Special teams lost this game. I thought the offense could have been a little bit more explosive. They were playing. Can I just remind everybody that the Rams were ranked 31st in run and 32nd in pass, and all we put up was 24 points? I know what we saw from Jawan Jennings and Brock Purdy did their thing. Just imagine how we ran the ball successfully or more. Oh, here we go. Just imagine had the game plan been running the ball, we would have put up so many points. Like, it would have been totally different. Totally different. Now, the 49ers finished with 34 carries. I want to put that out there. They rushed for 137 yards. So it sounds like we rushed the ball really well. Minus 41 of those 137s to Brock Purdy's extended plays and running. Brock Purdy had one explosive run for 11 yards in this game. So take away 41 minus the 137, the Niners running backs. Jordan Mason had 98 yards off of 19 carries. How does my bell cow, my running back, not have at least 25 to 30 carries a game? That's all I'm saying. That's all. So for me, yeah, the offense looked explosive, but it should have been more explosive against a team that couldn't stop the pass, that couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't. But in this game, we got ourselves in some situations. At least the 49ers, the bright side is at least they were better on 3rd down, right? They were better on 3rd down. That's an improvement. Big freaking improvement. 6 for 11, 55%. I'll take it. 2 for 3 in the red zone, 67%. I'll take it. Give it to me. But we lost. So it's like none of that matters. None of that matters. And it could have just came down to the goddamn turnover, yo. Like, you lose the turnover battle, you lose the game. Check this out. 49ers got to figure out a way to bounce back. They lost, to me, a get-right game against a team where their backs were against the wall. The Rams came out and said, we're going to scrap. I don't know if the Niners will ever be a gritty, scrappy team. They're going to have to figure out how to win games like that. If they can do that, the Niners will be just fine. And I'm going to use this game as a game to where the Niners go back, look back, and say, yo, we're not scrapping enough. We're not gritty enough. We're not grindy. We're not this. We're not that. They need to figure out how to win those type of games. I actually rather them play the rest of their games like this and find ways to win, because you know what's going to happen? If during playoff time, they're going to be gritty games, and they're going to have to figure out ways where finesse ain't going to get it done. Play calling, scheming, that stuff's just not going to work. You're going to play a team that's going to come out, punch you in the face, smack you in the mouth. And they got to find a way this year, not last year, but this year, to win those type of games. Jauan Jennings, I salute you, my brother. You balled out. Jauan Jennings is nominated for the FedEx Offensive Air Player of the Week. Make sure you go out there, faithful, vote for our guy, Jauan Jennings, who chose not to speak to the media on last night. I'm glad he made that business decision. I don't care what comes with that. I don't care what kind of takes people pulled out about that. I'm glad he made a decision not to speak to the media. It let me know, here's how I look at it, that this whole thing wasn't about him. It was about the team, and losing is worse than what he achieved and accomplished individually. So Jauan Jennings, I salute you, bro. Keep grinding out there, man. Listen, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the BAM show. I get to talk with my brother Mike. We'll talk about some stuff with Kyle Shanahan, fourth quarter. I don't know. We're going to have a good show. It's 30 minutes. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a hot 30. We'll recap some of the stuff that we saw. But guys, get your mindsets ready, because we got to get ready for the Patriots coming into town. The good news is the 49ers get to go back home. Hopefully George Kittle will play this week. We'll see what that injury status is going to be like. The Nitty Gritty Niners will be on tonight at 7 p.m. We'll probably be airing out more stuff, and we'll be doing a quick preview to the Patriots matchup this week. So make sure you're locked and loaded right here on the Wayne Breezy channel. Make sure your alerts are set to all. Don't forget to hit that like button. And most important, if this is your first time watching, hit the gosh darn subscribe button, please. Appreciate you. Love you. Keep it faithful to the Bay.